They say marriage is built on trust, but what if your partner's vows were a deadly deception? In the small town of Brooksville, one couple's twisted tale would leave an entire community questioning how well they really knew their neighbors. This is Partners in True Crime, a marriage of murder. John Mitchell was the definition of success, a well-respected businessman, a devoted husband, and a familiar face at every local charity event. But beneath the polished exterior was a storm of financial ruin, mounting loans from failed real estate ventures, unpaid contractors demanding restitution, and investors threatening lawsuits. Debts piled high, business deals soured, and for John, the pressure was unbearable. When his body was discovered in the study of his grand suburban home, the scene suggested suicide. A single gunshot wound, a half-empty bottle of bourbon, a farewell note conveniently typed, but detectives weren't convinced. Something felt off. The investigator said that there were no fingerprints on the gun. The suicide note? Too perfect. And then there was Emily. Her grief, a masterful performance, practiced and painfully insincere. Emily Mitchell played the role of the devastated widow flawlessly. Tears for the cameras, heartfelt eulogies. But when the life insurance payout hit her account, a staggering $2 million, the cracks in her facade began to show. Phone records told the story she wouldn't, but the evidence spoke louder than her silence. Late-night calls to a man named Brian Caldwell, John's fiercest business rival. Texts deleted. Meetings unaccounted for. And then, the ultimate betrayal. A sordid affair, months in the making. The investigator said that what we were looking at wasn't just a crime of passion, it was a partnership in murder. Emily and Brian stood to gain everything. John's death wasn't a tragedy, it was a payday. With mounting evidence, Emily was arrested. Her trial exposed the chilling level of deceit. Staged documents, coerced witnesses, a digital trail of planning and manipulation. And Brian, he folded under pressure, testifying against his lover in exchange for a reduced sentence. Emily Mitchell, convicted of first-degree murder, will spend the rest of her life behind bars. The once supportive community, stunned by the revelations, now whispers her name with a mix of disbelief and outrage. For John's family, justice brings closure, but the scars of betrayal will never fully heal. But the question remains, many people live in the shadows of what they call love, unaware of the danger that lurks within their own home. Stay with us for the next shocking case on Partners in True Crime, because sometimes the person you trust the most is the one you should fear. They say love makes us do crazy things, but what if the craziest thing was murder? In the dazzling world of art and ambition, one couple's twisted scheme unraveled a trail of lies, betrayal, and deadly secrets. This is Partners in True Crime, Love That Betrayed. Lisa Turner was a picture of sophistication, an art curator with an eye for beauty and a past she'd carefully hidden. She strolled through lavish galas, sipping champagne with the elite, her designer gowns masking the secrets she hoped would never resurface. Before her days curating high-end galleries, she was entangled in a series of failed ventures and questionable relationships, each one leaving its own shadowy mark. To the outside world, her life was perfect. Wealth, influence, elegance. But behind the gallery walls, shadows loomed. And those shadows had a name: Marcus Reed, a talented musician, consumed by bitterness and debt. Marcus was Lisa's dirty little secret. Their affair was a ticking time bomb. But then, the unthinkable happened. Lisa's ex-husband, billionaire investor Richard Blake, was found dead at the foot of his grand staircase. Officially, it was ruled an accident. Slippery floors, a misplaced glass of whiskey, a tragic fall. Richard's history of frequent late-night drinking made it all too easy to accept. But the whispers told a different story. The investigators said From the moment we arrived, something felt staged. No signs of forced entry, yet the tension in that house was palpable. And Lisa, well, her grief looked impeccable, almost rehearsed. Richard's death set off a chain reaction. Suspicious bank transfers, deleted messages, surveillance footage gone missing. And then, there was Marcus. Desperate and careless, his every move left breadcrumbs for investigators to follow. Late-night calls between Lisa and Marcus, cryptic texts with phrases like, "Timing is everything," and "No turning back now." Investigators meticulously pieced together their digital trail, uncovering a web of deceit that shattered their carefully constructed alibi. But it was a single, chilling message that sealed their fate. "He won't see tomorrow." The investigator also added, "Once we cracked into Marcus's phone, it all unraveled. The plan, the cover-up, the motive, it was all there, written in black and white. Love turned lethal." In a courtroom packed with reporters and onlookers, Lisa and Marcus's facade shattered. Marcus, blinded by his desire for revenge and money, folded under pressure. In the glare of the courtroom, his bravado crumbled. Tears welled in his eyes as he recounted every twisted detail: the planning, the manipulation, and the deadly final act. Each word pulled Lisa deeper into the abyss of guilt, and the jury watched in stunned silence as the truth unraveled before them. He confessed, implicating Lisa as the mastermind. Her carefully woven lies could no longer protect her. Lisa Turner, convicted of first-degree murder, will serve a life sentence without parole. In the courtroom, Richard's family wept relief and sorrow intertwined. The public, once captivated by Lisa's glamorous facade, now watched in disbelief as her dark secrets unraveled. Marcus, sentenced to 25 years, traded his freedom for a plea deal. And Richard Blake? His legacy remains, a reminder of how quickly passion can turn to poison. They were partners in crime, but in the end, betrayal was their only reward. Stay with us for the next shocking case on Partners in True Crime. Because sometimes, love doesn't just hurt, it kills. How far would you go for love? They say you never really know someone, but what if the friend you trusted most, the one you take a bullet for, was the one holding the gun? In a town where loyalty runs deep, one betrayal would shatter it all. This is Partners in True Crime. Friends in the shadows. In the heart of a quiet town, Kevin "Kev" Anderson was the kind of guy you'd count on. A mechanic with grease-streaked hands and an easy laugh, Kev was beloved by the locals. But small towns remember everything. And Kev's past? It was complicated. Years ago, a bitter fallout with local shop owner, Mike Lawson, left rumors swirling. When Mike was found brutally murdered in his home, the whispers returned with a vengeance. Kev's criminal record, a scuffle that never quite left his name, made him the perfect suspect. But the truth? It was far more twisted. Darren "Dare" Evans had been Kev's best friend since childhood. Through scraped knees and stolen cigarettes, they were inseparable. Dare always had a wild streak, but Kev stayed steady until now. When Kev was arrested, Dare stood by him, swearing his innocence. But behind the scenes, Dare was a puppet master, pulling strings and twisting lies. Investigators believed they had their man, until one wrong move cracked Dare's perfect plan. The investigator said, "We found a glove, cheap, disposable, but with traces of blood. And the DNA? It didn't match Kev, it matched Dare." The evidence unraveled the web Dare had spun. Security footage showed him circling Mike's house days before the murder. A deleted text message recovered from Dare's phone revealed a chilling line: "He'll get what's coming." All the while, Dare smiled, shared beers with Kev, and watched as his best friend took the fall. The investigator also said, it was the perfect frame job, but arrogance leaves fingerprints. And Dare left plenty. In court, Dare's facade crumbled. The town that once admired his charm now saw the monster beneath. Kev, broken but resilient, stood tall as the truth emerged. Cleared of all charges, he walked free. Dare, convicted of murder, was sentenced to life without parole. The betrayal stung deeper than any wound. Kevin said, "I called him my brother. I never thought he'd be the one to destroy me." In the shadows of friendship, the darkest secrets fester. But even the cleverest betrayals can't escape the light. Stay with us for the next chilling story on Partners in True Crime. Because sometimes your worst enemy is closer than you think.
Like, subscribe and comment.